Welcome to Out of the Box with Christine, the podcast for conscious entrepreneurs. Are you willing to step into your greatness? Are you ready to shine? Well, get ready, Truth Seeker. You're in for an amazing ride. And now, here's the host of the show, Christine Blosdale.
Welcome back to Out of the Box with Christine, the podcast for conscious entrepreneurs. I am your host, motivational media coach, Christine Blosdale. And the show is all about making sure that we have the tools, the wisdom to help guide us to make our lives a little bit better. And today is no exception. I have an incredible guest joining me. Paige Stevensen is a master intuitive, and she is also a soul-guided conduit for angelic energy. She's in communion with the angels to help find balance and trust in your world. And her website, I want you to make sure you check it out. We'll have a link in the show notes. It's theintuitiveadvisor.com. That's theintuitiveadvisor.com. And once you hear from my beautiful guest, Paige, you're going to run. You're going to sprint. You're going to do the quick sprint to her website to check her out and maybe even have a session with her or just find out more information. But with all that said, Paige, welcome to Out of the Box.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. I'm so excited. Well, just you alone, Christine, just make me so joyful. So I'm already ramped up with your joy that you have. And so I'm even yes, I have to calm myself because now we're all excited.
They've all come in the room. Well, you know what? As soon as I met you, I knew it was, I have those goosebumps, the hair that sticks up.
Yes.
Right now, I got it going all the way down my neck and my back.
We call those angel bumps.
Angel bumps. Angel bumps, those bumps or the hair that's raised, for me, that's recognition. That is yes, that's a big yes from the universe. It's like cool. This is good. It's almost like I hear applause, like I hear the crowd doing a standing ovation.
And the crowd screamed.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
that's cool.
And that's what I felt when I met you. And it was, and that message, that mantra was, get her on the show so that more people can hear the beautiful message that you have.
Thank you,
Paige. And so it's my honor to have you on the show. And for folks that are listening, you might be listening on one of the major platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or you might be watching this on YouTube, which I highly recommend because my guest is absolutely gorgeous. You can watch it on YouTube, but make sure if you resonate with this and what we're talking about, share this show, share the video, or share the podcast with others, because that's the whole idea. And we never know, do we, Paige? We never know who's going to be listening, who's going to be watching, and how it can impact their lives. That's what I love about technology and this beautiful time that we're in. So welcome to the show, girl.
Oh, thank you. Can we talk about where you are and where I am? Like we're across the miles for sure.
Yes.
It's like, holy catfish, Batman. We're ways away from each other.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about technology. And, I'm here in Canada on the West Coast. No, I'm not in Toronto. People, oh, Toronto? No. There's another part of Canada.
And you're not always necessarily like knee deep in ice and snow.
No.
That's what people think. I know.
If you think of Seattle, Washington, we're very similar. And so however often they get snow is probably how often we get it. And so and we're beautiful. Like every place on earth is beautiful as far as I'm concerned. And I'm super happy to just be heard and seen, because don't we all just want to get our message out there and just see who can I help? There's not enough of us to help everybody. So that's why I really encourage the people listening, if you're thinking about, does anybody want my stuff? Absolutely. There is somebody waiting for you, and just get it out. It's got to come out.
And it doesn't matter because we're all an expert in something.
Yeah.
I remember I had a woman who she was talking to me and wanted to be my client, and she said, "But I'm just a housewife." And I went, "Are you kidding me?" I said, "First of
Oh,
all, do you know how many people can relate to you in single moms and single dads? Doesn't have to be just women." But I said, "You
yeah.
know how many people can relate to you and your struggle?" And I said, "You have a gift that you can share with others." And it's getting through the day for her. It was getting through the day to day with kids and not losing her, stuff. Not
Yes. Yeah. Right.
rolling with the
And
punches, and that's a gift to be able to inspire people and to make them laugh as well, I believe.
yes,
Yeah,
that's
that's why
so
they
funny
pay
you
that's
mention
why
it.
they pay
Well,
comedians so much money, right?
right? That's funny you mention that, because just yesterday I was talking to a friend, and I was reflecting myself, because I was a mom that did not have to look after my kids. I chose to work, and they were in full-time daycare, and I didn't have to potty train them or anything. It was beautiful. I was, so motherhood was a breeze for me. Well, I laugh about it now, but at the time it was a lot of guilt that I was
Mm,
working,
yeah.
so I applaud the women that do make the choice to stay home and can stay home. And there's just so many benefits to it, and not to be guilty about going and having to work either, because that's a gift in itself, and it'll unfold as you move along. And
And you're
so
also
anyways,
you're also teaching your children too to go after their passion and their dreams if they're and it's not
absolutely.
about being successful and making a lot of money. It's seeing their parents, you know, passionate about something. And that's the other thing. We have to as parents. I'm a parent now. I recently, well, not recently, I guess, but I became a parent of two teenagers.
Ah,
Yeah. And
well, there's a good challenge. Yeah.
that is a good challenge. And you all of a sudden you become aware of what you do and how you speak. Well, I'm very much aware of how I speak because I've been in broadcasting for 20 plus years. So I'm
Mhm.
very aware of the power of our voice and the power of words. That's why they
Mhm.
call it spelling, right? You're casting a spell. So let's talk about that, because like I said, I try to be conscious of the words that I use and the framing of things, right?
Yes.
I do the pancake flip on some things. I flip things, or I'll reframe some things that maybe other people might think of as a negative, or something bad that's happened. I'll sort of reframe it. But let's talk about the power of words, and
Oh
then
my gosh.
get into also the beautiful beings that surround you and that you work with.
Yes. Well, it's so loaded for me.
I know. I
Because
just asked you a big question.
um because Christine, I it's something that I teach in my class, in my 3-day called Journey to Happy, is the element of the words we speak. And what are you saying? Like, yes, you and I are having words right now, and everything's positive and effective, and no problem saying it. And but what if you're not able to speak so freely? What if you're in your quiet moments and you're not liking yourself? And what are you saying? Even if it's not out loud, everything you say in your head is just as loud as out here, and it's probably louder inside, screaming. And so I caution my clients when they start saying things like, I can't do this, and um, I won't do this, and I don't think I can do that. And they start doubting themselves. Um, what I remind them of, think of that little girl that thought she could do anything. She thought she could whatever her dreams were when she was little, she had this beautiful vision for herself. And she was able to say, I'm going to be the teacher, and you play teacher with your friends. And she didn't question if she could do it or if she had the education or the facilities. She just did it because that was her imagination. But that was a lot of talking in the head. But if you have the thoughts in the head that keep defeating you, that's when it comes into problems. And a lot of times, we think we're not succeeding because of something out here. It's not out here. It's in here. It's this space between these two temples. Somebody gave me a measurement once, and I can't remember what the measurement, this here to here from, temple to temple, however many inches, centimeters, whatever measurement you're in. But that space is all the capacity you have to come up with the right words. 2 words that I want to bring awareness to you. And this goes a little bit into the NLP world. Just a little. Okay, I'm not proficient at NLP, but I've got enough that I'm okay. Pay attention. When you use the word try is a word that means soft fail. Because you can try to do something. Either you do it or you don't do it. So if you said, I'm going to try to get pregnant, are you pregnant or aren't, like try has a different connotation, and we use it. So, I'll try to make it for dinner tomorrow night, or I'll try to make the appointment. Are you going to, or aren't you? And people say it all the time. So we quite often use the word try. So just be aware of the try word. And when you're in my class, you were told, no, you said try again. And we try again. And they keep going over it and going over it and going when they're asking for something or trying to manifest something. I'm going to try to do this and try to do that. No, you're either going to do it or you're not going to do it. So either you're pregnant or you're not, or you're getting a job or you're not getting a job. I'm not going to try. You can say, I'm going to do the steps necessary to get a job.
Yeah.
But trying means you're setting yourself up for failure. So that's when I get a lot more into this, but that's one word. The other word is the word not, N-O-T. See, the universe doesn't know the word not. So when you say, I am not lazy, I am not, whatever descriptive word you're going to use about, or anytime you use the word not, you can drop not out, and basically you're saying, I am lazy. Or I don't, which is do not. I don't want a lazy husband or a lazy wife, whatever you want to say. You're saying, if you break it down, I do not want a lazy spouse. You're saying, I want a lazy spouse. The word not is silent to the universe. So many times when people are manifesting, they want to bring in a new job, they want to buy that new car, get that new house, or whatever, lose 10 pounds, or whatever they're manifesting, they talk about what they don't want. They're not talking about what it is that they want to bring in. Big difference. You can't bring in something if you're focusing on what you don't want. If you're always talking yellow and you want orange. I'll give you an example. If I said to you, Christine, there's a forest of blue trees. I don't want you to focus on the red tree. Where does your head immediately go to?
The red tree.
The red tree. But if I said, Christine, there's a beautiful forest of blue trees out there. There could be a red one in there, but I'm not focusing on it. I'm telling you what to focus on rather than what not to focus on. So when I said, but don't look at the red one, or however I word it, you immediately go there and all you see is this red. You forget about the blue. And it's like, oh, interesting. This is how our brain works. Yeah. And the same thing happens with when we have clients and you say, can I get a testimony? Can I get your review on my work? And they go, oh, 5 out of 5, and then somebody goes 1 and you're like, what? 1?
What did I do?
And what do we focus? We've got 1,000 of 5s, but 1. And where does our head go? Because we are so patterned to look at the negative first.
There you go.
And so through time, you can reverse this out. I was a child that was told we would never be successful business owners because we weren't the people born that way. You have to be born that way. That's what I was told. We were the family that had to work hard for our money. And I'm sure lots of people have heard work hard for your money. Well, how about we just work effectively for our money? Get a good plan in play. That's, this is how words corrupt our minds. This is why we can't go on further, because we're stuck in our stuff and we're like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. How about, what are you doing right? Focus on that. Oh, now you start seeing a different, and as soon as you start shifting your thoughts and your words, then your outside world starts manifesting differently. This takes discipline, and it's not difficult. It's possible. If I can do it, you can do it. And I don't say that lightly. Like, I've come from a lot of, my family still talks negatively. They're still stuck in their stuff. I call it the muddle. They're still in their muddle. So they play around in their puddle of muddle, and then they think I'm the wacko because I'm talking to the other side. And it's like, let's have a little look here. Nope. It's a little different on this side of the fence.
Well, yes. Also, when you're focusing on the negative, what happens is, I don't know if it's our ego or I don't know exactly what it is, but there's something within us that wants to prove that we're right. That's the same thing, like if you're in an argument or something like that, and it doesn't matter. It's like, I need to win no matter what. I want to win, right? But when you're looking at the negative, or your worldview is in the negative, then there's something within you that wants to prove that you're right. So when you look out into the world, you're going to see all those things that confirm that belief, right? Yeah. And it's so interesting because with looking at it a different way, you actually see the things that reaffirm how amazing you are, or how the work that you do, if you're a coach or a consultant or a service, if you provide a service of some sort, even if you're an author, then you'll get that feedback that, oh my goodness, you've changed my life. You really helped me. You're amazing. But isn't that interesting? It's so true that what we focus on, we create, we co-create, we feed it. Right?
But it's so simplistic.
Yeah.
Us humans want to make it
complicated, Paige. We want to make it complicated.
It's got to be really complicated. It's got to be complicated because everything is so hard, right? Isn't that what we're told? You got to work hard for it.
You got to work harder. You got to work hard. I always said, even when I was little, I got the idea. I got the concept of work smarter, not harder. And that's just because, like, I watched my grandmother and I saw how she, even though she had she was an Aries, she was a little fiery, like she had a little temper, but she was able to let things, like a duck with like water off the back, she'd blow up and then it would be gone. She wouldn't hold on to things for a long time. And even just in her day-to-day, or the things that she would be doing, if it was in the garden or if she'd be making a meal, I watched how she she did it smarter, not harder. and,
Yes.
and it's so much easier, and it's so much makes life so much easier, doesn't it?
Oh, way. And you know, it's easy, it's easier when you have somebody around you that is influencing you in a good way. When you're the lone wolf sitting in your space by yourself and nobody's critiquing, you know, and you're just babbling away to yourself, working on, might be writing, might be dusting, might be jogging, whatever. And what is your dialogue going on in your head? Are you talking about back in the day? Or are you talking about the future? Or are you talking about right now? Because there's nothing wrong with looking at, you know, back in the day. Oh, I remember that time. Oh, coochie coo, you know, whatever. But do you stay there? Are you always talking about the good old days? A lot of our seniors, I'm one of them, a lot of our seniors talk about the good old days, and all they're doing is regurgitating. And I'm not saying it isn't good stuff, but is it moving them forward? How about talk about today? Did you go for a walk? Did you phone a friend? Did you play some bingo? Did you do some lawn bowling? Did you, you know, do something? Are you in now? Because when you're in now frequency is where you can actually move forward with it. If you're always reminiscing, you're being dragged back. And so it's like going back, and it's no, we're going forward. We need to go forward. Can we see what's forward? We trust. Big word.
Yeah.
Trust. And that's where people check out. They don't want to know. I want to know. People always go to psychics. Tell me, is there a guy? Tell me, do I have a new job? Tell me, do I have this? It's like, it doesn't matter if we see it right now. It could change tomorrow because you keep moving along in your world. So that, you know, there's no psychic that can tell you absolutely for certain that something is going to be. And please don't send me emails on this and you go, well, yes, I met with my psychic and they blah, 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 blah. Then good for you, that happened. But what I'm saying is don't be running to a psychic all the time to get, what am I going to be doing? Because your life evolves and things change. You
Every
think
second.
you're going down this path. You
Yes.
think that this is, oh, it's another day. And then something catastrophic happens. Somebody smashes into your house, had it, you know, wiped out in front of your yard. And you're like, what? And things change. It just keeps going on and on and on. And what's being said here? I can talk all the time, but if in my head I'm thinking, oh my God, I wonder if Christine's even paying attention to me. Is she, you know, is she liking what I'm, if I've got this dialogue going, how effective am I going to be? Actually, I'm thinking, damn, I'm good.
It affects all, and it affects all. See, how do I say this? How we feel and the words that we say to ourselves, the thoughts that we have. Because I do believe that some people live in a mental prison because they don't, everything that they see is like a negative.
Yes.
But when you're able to, even through the things that might be icky or hard or whatever, however you want to classify them. I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I really needed to get into our pantry, right? Because we've got 2 teenagers, 4 adults, 3 cats, a dog, you know, all kinds of crazy things happen here. And so our pantry was getting to the point where it was like, it was depressing because it was depressing us. It was just a mess and unorganized. And so yesterday I just said, I'm going to take a couple hours to organize it and make it nice. Now, I could have taken the path of, man, these people I live with are pigs. I've always got to clean up after them. Look what I got to do. Look at this honey that's smeared all over this. Okay, I could have looked at it that way. But what I did is I put on some cool blues music. I love blues. I put on some cool blues music on Spotify, cranked it out throughout the house. and had a little glass of wine that I nursed through the whole thing. And I got one of those little labelers, those things you could put. I put little labels on things. I got really pretty little boxes, and I spent several hours cleaning and organizing and putting it together. And then the excitement of showing each member of the household, right?
Oh my
Come look
gosh.
at my pantry, and I open it and I go, and they're like, wow, wow. So I took something that was considered a chore and flipped it around to be an experience and was happy about it.
Yes.
And what
That's
that
brilliant.
is that there's no resentment. You're not
Yes.
walking around with resentment, and that energy goes out into the universe. And guess what? It's going to send you more things to be resentful for, right?
Yes.
That's how
That's
that's
brilliant.
how it works. So
That's
now I have a beautiful little shiny pantry.
right. You open your pantry now and you go, oh yeah, I did this.
I did
Oh
this.
yeah.
And I was very clever on I was very clever on the labeling. So some of them are kind of cute and funny. But
Aw.
yeah, because you know, it's the same thing with taxes. I've heard people say, I have to do taxes. Oh
Mm-hmm.
God, I have to do taxes. I say when it's that time, I get to do taxes. I get
Yes.
to do my taxes. That means I actually made some money,
Right.
right?
Yes. That's
So,
brilliant.
and
Like
I put
people
the
need to
music
hear
on.
that again.
I still put the
You got to
music
say
on.
that again.
Oh, what?
You got to say that again because this is what people do all the time. They don't realize when they're saying I got to do my taxes that they're making it a negative, and you've just spun it. You're saying absolutely I get to do my taxes. This means I made money.
Yeah.
Hello, do you hear that? Like
Yes.
that's like just think people how you're saying things. Like, oh my gosh.
Well, we
So do
put
you
it in
do
our minds that it's a negative experience.
mm-hmm,
Doing your
mm-hmm.
taxes, going to the dentist. Even when I a little hesitant with the dentist thing sometimes because I know it can, cause a little pain. But what I do in the dentist chair, you feel free to use this page. I'll be in the dentist chair and they're scraping, they're drilling, and they're touching a nerve or whatever. And as I'm sitting there with my mouth open and drooling, I have a mantra. And my mantra, and I've done this mantra whenever I've been in pain or anything, because I've had surgeries and stuff. And I say, this is only temporary. This is only temporary. It's only temporary. This is only
Did you
temporary.
pick up that I'm going to the dentist soon? Is that why you're telling me that?
No, I'm not that psychic. But feel free to use it. This is only temporary. This is only
Yes,
temporary. It's worked. It's helped me in so many situations,
yes,
but especially at the
absolutely.
dentist and I just keep breathing. Sometimes I'll hum. I don't know if you do this. I go, and the dentist is just looking at me like, what are you humming? I go, it's a non-existent song. It's Christine's. Please just let's get through this together.
Well, you have beautiful teeth, so you must get along with your dentist.
Yeah. They enjoy seeing me come in.
Yes.
I have a good dentist thing for you. When I was in college, I had to have all four wisdom teeth pulled at the same time, all of them.
Ow.
And they give you a little pill. They say take it only like so many minutes before you come into the office, into the dental thing. And I took it, and I guess I took it maybe a little too early, whatever. So I went in there and I was with a friend, and I was just kind of like, hey, kind of thing. And they get you in the chair, and all of a sudden I'm like out, right? I'm conked out, gone. I wake up and I can, I could feel something had happened. The dentist was on the other side of the room looking at me like I was like an evil monster. And the three nurses that apparently had to hold me down said the moment he went in to pull the first tooth, your hand went down and grabbed him right in between the legs, and you would not let go. You wouldn't let go. And so we had three people try to get here. I
Oh
did
my
not
God.
know. I said, I'm sorry. But yeah, no, I don't think he appreciated that.
Yeah.
We're not going to hurt each other, are we? I don't know why I told you that story, or the listeners or the viewers. It just came up. All right, let's talk about what you do, Paige, because I think you bring such importance and clarity to people who are really struggling. If not struggling in their business, struggling with life in general, relationships and all of that. But let's talk about what is it that you love doing for your clients, for people that come to you, and especially I know because you work with the angelic realm. I find this fascinating. Can you give us an idea of the process?
Well, first, I want to preface it by saying I want to take the word struggle away because that may be you're struggling, they're struggling, but let's call it you're recalibrating. Let's say that you're rejigging yourself to be more optimal. Like I like to keep it always on a positive spin, because people don't like to hear that they're struggling. Oh, you're struggling. No, we have come through a lot, and some of us did well with it. Some of us didn't do well with it. Some of us just went on as if nothing was happening. There are some of those people out there. I've come across them, and I'm like, holy cow, how did that work? And so I never like to be pointing fingers and saying, oh, you need help, because you have to self-identify, or nothing's going to help you. You have to be able to go, okay, I'm not doing well myself. I need help. And this is one of the gifts you can give yourself, to say, I need assistance. I can't do this myself. I need somebody to come in and assist. And then you'll find the person that works for you. Like if you're listening to Christine or listening to me for this video or audio, or however you're listening to it, if one of us is resonating with you, then connect with us and ask more questions and say, tell me more, because not everybody is for everybody. There's no, even the Tony Robbins of the world, he's not for everybody. Some people can't stand him. And I'm like, well, I like him. It's cool, dude. But, he's not for everybody. The same thing with me. I'm a very boisterous person. Because I was not allowed to speak so much as a child, I do all my talking now. And I'm not shy on what I say. I don't know if your show's X-rated or whatever you call it, but I'm talking about the vagina and the penis and, orgasms and all of those kinds of things. That's part of our life. If it has to come up and be talked about, then let's talk about it, and not, oh, did you pee? This kind of bullshit stuff. No. And so I'm very in your face. If you're into numerology, I'm in a 9 path, and I'm ascending in this lifetime, which means I'm not coming back.
You're done.
And so I've got a lot of wisdom, and I've got a lot of wisdom to pass on. And I'm a wisdom keeper, I'm a master intuitive, and an angel channeler. And so all of those pieces, I've got the beautiful, loving archangels to work with. I work with 15 major archangels. If you're on video, you can see this picture behind me. This is my angelic team. This is Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Raphael, Mother Mary, and Jesus. So when I work with a client and I call in my team, like I am working with my team right now, Archangel Gabriel is assisting me. That's who comes forward and works with me. And then when I work with my client, then I get like if I was working with Christine, I would say, Christine, is it okay if we work with your team? And as soon as she says yes, now the angels know, okay, she's agreeing. I'm not just forcing her to do this.
Correct.
Then our teams talk to each other. And you might say, well, who's my team? You have to email me and ask me. They're not elusive to certain people. They're for everybody. They're non-denominational. I'm not here to interrupt any kind of religious or whatever faith-driven business praying you do or anything. I'm not saying get rid of that and bring in me. That's not what I'm saying. This is what you might call an add-on or a complement to it.
A bonus.
However you want to frame it. A bonus, yes. But I know I have a lot of clients that come from certain religions that are in a lot of shame and guilt because they're told that this is sacrilegious, what I do. And I was told that too. And my family still believes that I'm on the wrong side of the fence. They're like, she's going to hell. It's like, yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
So as a young child, I was working with the angels. I didn't know that they were the angels when I was little. And my mom didn't know what they were. She just knew that I always wanted to have an extra seat at the table for my imaginary friend, because that's what my mom called them. And, oh, she's got her imaginary friend. And I was like, okay. Well, then, because I was raised in a religious cult, which is another story in itself, and the preacher man found out about my imaginary friends.
Oh, great.
Uh-oh. So to the house he came and told my mom in front of me, you shut that down right now. That's against the Lord's way. And I was like, oh. As a little one, I'm like, oh, mommy. And I went to my mom and I'm hiding behind her skirt. And I'm like, I'm sorry, mommy. And, that whole scene in it was, it's like, so of course, what happens is I go into fear. I thought my imaginary friend was doing harm or something. Like I didn't know, I'm a little one. And so as a result, I shut myself down. I withdrew. Can you imagine? I was quiet. I'm not anymore. And so, but I was in fear for years until I got into my teens. And then I started to have some awakenings, we'll call it. Like when I was at my aunt's farm and I was 15, I think 13 or 15, I forget now. And I hit the fence with the motorbike, the barbed wire fence, and got knocked out. And it was the angels that were saying, get up, get up, get up. And because I would have bled out if I hadn't got up. And I did. And I got up and I started walking back to where my cousins were waiting for me. And that's where I met the cow. And the cow was talking and chewing her cud and going, keep walking. It's like, okay. And then that was kind of the start of it. And then I've had lots of episodes, if you want to call it. But I've never been in fear because they're my friends. I didn't know that you weren't seeing them. And I saw them. And I very seldom came across somebody else that went, oh, that was Archangel Michael. And I'd be like, oh, you saw that? And like it was my norm, but not everybody's. So it wasn't until somebody said, oh, did you see that? And I went, I did. You saw that? And they were like, yeah, I see it too. And I'm like, oh my God, wait a minute. You're the only one that's ever said that to me. How come nobody else says that? And she says, because they don't see it like you see it. I went, oh.
Yeah.
Like it sounds silly now, but if you don't know that they don't know what you don't know, right? And it was like, well, that sounds silly. So it's just, because of my ingrained teachings from little one: get married, have the picket fence, the station wagon, the husband, and the baby's in the back seat. Because that's, I'm not in America. Well, I'm in North America, but that's the dream, to have that, family vision. It's like, ugh, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying, weren't there any other options they could have told me about? Because that was all that was, you gotta get that car, and get that good job with the pension. Oh, I need a good job with a good pension. Well, so what do? I go out and get the good job with the pension. And then I go back to school and get more education. And, now I can really get the good pension. Oh my God, I've got this good job. And all this time I am dabbling into, because back then there was no internet, like everything you can Google now. There wasn't those options. You had to go to the library or read a newspaper or a magazine, or listen to, in Canada, we have CBC radio. Boring. Anyways, that's how you got your information. You couldn't just Google it and have 50 million hits in less than 30 seconds. You had to go find this information. So I kept dabbling. And in my head, all this time, I have had a vision of me in a princess gown. Yes, I'm in a pink princess gown. And I'm in front of my audience. And I am talking to my audience, who is all in white. I don't know where I am in the world, but I'm talking to my audience, and they're in white. And I am telling them a message that is healing them. And they've all come to hear this message. That has been my vision since little one. And so it's Princess Paige. And believe it or not, as a little girl, I had blonde hair with ringlets all around my head, because that's how Mom did my hair for church. And I was quite cute when I was little. And so today, I love being on stage. I love being a healer, because what I didn't know back then, I was born a healer. I know that now. So I have not only healing hands, but healing words, healing with the angels. There's like so many ways to get healed. Most people don't realize that they're a healer also to some degree. Just by being in communion with somebody, just by sitting down with a friend and lending an ear so they can just talk it out while they talk through their muddle, helps them. That's healing to them. Yeah. We don't learn this. We just think healing only comes from, the blessed ones, the ones that are gifted. We're all healers. But I am a healer many lifetimes. And in a 9 path that I'm in, I've had thousands of lifetimes. This isn't my first rodeo. So Same. When that's why I'm a know-it-all. And I don't I love being a know-it-all. Go ahead and challenge me. See if you can challenge me. I bet you can't.
No.
Well, she's going to take me up on that now. I got to think of something. What can I challenge her on? Anyways, so my point is that as you're sitting there listening and wondering about yourself, yes, I talk to the angels. You can talk to the angels. They're not just for me. Huh? Are you kidding? No, they're for everybody. Everybody. Archangel Michael has communicated to us that if everybody in the world, did you hear that? Everybody was to ask of him a favor, like tune into me, Archangel Michael. We all did it simultaneously. he would be able to handle it. But people have been told, oh, don't ask, because when you ask him, somebody else isn't getting. It's like, I'm going to say bullshit on that right now. Stop that thinking. There is enough and more enough for every single soul on this earth. Every soul. Absolutely. Oh, please. And so here's me as me, and I miss, as a child, abused, raped, abandoned, thrown out, discarded, dismissed. You name the word, I've lived it, been through it. And now I live a joyful, and happy life. Why? It's a choice. Did I get touched on the head with a magic wand and go, ding, you're now happy, Paige? Oh, thank you. No, I chose this because it is a choice. Remember that. Happiness isn't you just inherit it. It's a choice. Every day, it's a choice. And that's why I teach what I teach, because I want people to have their own little regiment, if you want to call it. Every day, they're doing something for the betterment of this vessel. Because when this vessel starts breaking down, who are you blaming for that? Is it something your mother said, your dad said, your neighbor said, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your wife, your brother, sister? Is one of them that they fucked you up, right? No, you did it yourself. Stop it. Take ownership and start realizing that this vessel you're in charge of. You've been given this vessel to see how well you can do. If you don't like it, who do you think's going to fix it? That person over there? Ding, ding. Oh, hello. Ding, ding. Hello. Ding, ding. It's you. Yes, it's you. If I can do it, you can do it. I'm almost in retirement age. My age in my face is going the other way. Why do you think? Because I am letting go of what I think others think of me. Ooh. What? I no longer wear glasses. What? This is the magic that can happen when you believe. And every one of you have it in you. This is why I do what I do. It's not craziness. I'm not going to sell you some pills or, stand on one leg and drink apple juice upside down or something. No, this isn't. This is, what are you telling yourself here? What are your words? What are your daily words? What are you saying at the beginning of the day to get your day started so you have the best day possible, and that you're allowing anything to happen for you that is in your highest and best good? Can you imagine if you just woke up and you said, okay, if there's something beautiful going to happen today, bring it. And something does happen. And you're like, oh my God, that was so cool. Can I get a repeat of that tomorrow? And it happens. Like it's possible when you believe. So you got to trust and believe. Trust and believe. And for a gal that came out of a world where I was told I would never amount to anything, literally, if I can change my thoughts and have miracles happening every day, do you think you can do it? Yes. Like just meeting you, Christine. How did that happen? It just happened. There's no magic ding, contact Christine. It just happens when you just get into the vibe and the things start flowing. You'll just start getting the right emails, the right people, the right deliveries, the right weather, like everything will just go. And hey, you want to come on a trip with me? What? You're taking me to Ireland? Uh-huh. I'm going to Ireland. This is
so true.
I'm not BSing you, but I want you to know, as you're sitting out there, and you're sitting in your puddle of muddle, because we all start there. We all start in the puddle. It's where we get ourselves. And I know I've been there, done that. I was once in bed for 2 years because I was el depresso. This is going back quite a ways. And now I sit in my joy and happiness. So I know what it's like when you can't get your ass out of bed every day. I know what it's like. It's tough. And then to top it all off, I'm not exactly super skinny. I don't know if you can tell that. I'm sure you can. I got, at least the.
You're beautiful.
But I'm what I'm going to phrase as voluptuous. Okay.
Yes.
I'm not narrow, what I call the skinny girls. I'm not a narrow person. I am a bit wider.
Curvaceous.
Yes, that too. But what I'm saying, why I'm saying this is because it has nothing to do with your exterior. And that took me a few years to figure that out. It's what's inside. What's inside? Mm-hmm. What's going on in here? Is everything running nicely? Are the thoughts feeding the body and the body's feeding the thoughts? It's a reciprocation. Back and forth, back and forth. I love my body. If I could, I would walk naked everywhere because I love my body. When I grew up, I didn't hear that. I was shamed about my body, which is sad because lots of people are. Lots of people are. And so now I love my body. And everybody that comes around me loves me. What? And guess who likes to sing? And guess who's a karaoke queen?
Yeah.
And guess who was told to shut up when she was younger? And you don't know how to sing. You're off key. I'm like, what? I've now been told I'm a second soprano. What? Yeah. Now, I'm telling you all of this because I want you to know that I've been on the wrong side and now I'm on the good side. So I actually don't talk about the good and the bad. I talk about what's serving you and not serving you. Are you serving or not, or serving or serving not so well? There's that not word. But which side do you want to be on? Is it getting you good stuff or not so good? Like, are you making good choices for yourself? And your body will talk to you. If you're eating the wrong stuff, you'll feel it. Either go right through you and you have diarrhea, or you'll vomit it up, or you'll get tummy pains. Start paying attention to what you're consuming to your vessel. If you had a beautiful, expensive car, we'll pick a Mercedes because I have one. Am I going to choose poor grade oil to put in it? Am I going to put in low grade gas? No, for the $5 million I paid for it? No. I'm putting the best in it because I want it to run well. I don't want to have to spend another $50 million to get a new car because I put the wrong stuff in. So what about this thing here? What are you putting in it? Are you drinking a bunch of Diet Coke? Diet anything? Stop. That's all chemical. Are you eating raw veggies? Good fruit? Oh, papaya and pineapple from Hawaii. Thank you. I'll have some. All of those, eat your veggies. It's true. because that's good roughage, cleans your colon. If you're having problems pooping, then you're hanging on to your shit, literally. Think of it, people. Like, like these are things we do to ourselves, and we don't even know that we're doing it until it hurts. And then we go, how come my back hurts? How come my shoulders? I can hardly move my neck. Oh, anything across the shoulders here, you're shouldering everybody else's worries. You're holding the weight of the world on your shoulders. As soon as you take that responsibility off yourself, yes. Because there was times when I was like, can you help me put my top on? I know, I've been there, done that. There isn't anything that I haven't had happen to me yet. Well, and don't send me a letter going, have you ever this? Have you ever? Don't send it. Okay. I've been through a lot. And I just want you to know that I'm sitting in wholeness. My whole being is able-bodied, and I still walk every day. Walk. Because this is my vessel. I'm taking care of it. And I might have a white Bacardi Coke, but I've changed the Bacardi or the Coke now because of the caffeine. So now I just do white Bacardi and 7-Up.
Oh, is that good?
Well, yeah, I can go to sleep at night.
Was that good? Okay, now I'm going to try that.
Yeah, but it's got to be white Bacardi.
Okay, yeah. I can do that. I can do that.
But this is, I get on these rants. And how do I do a lot of this stuff? Every decision I make, every decision, like the decision to book the time with you, Christine. I get my little thought. I have a little routine that I do for asking a question. Is it for my highest and best good to have a conversation with Christine? And I feel into it. And if something in my body is going, or I'm getting, either you're going to hear something, feel something,
yes,
or see something. Some way it's going to come across you. That's your intuitiveness. Hello? Yeah. And listen or pay attention to it. What is it saying?
Yes.
Everything I decide on. I was going to buy something today, and I thought, I'll just check in because my team, should I do this? Because the marketing for this person was really good, and it was pulling me in, and I was like, okay, I've got my card ready. Let's go.
And then you asked.
And then I asked, and it was like, no, my child. It's like, oh, okay. And then they're like, you already know this. And I was like, oh,
oops.
I was like, okay, thank you.
I love how I just love you. I do. Because it's like, well, and it's like also like meeting a kindred spirit, or meeting, like you're like a family member who's like not dysfunctional. Fucked up. But like if you ever, I don't know if you've ever had that relationship. Like when I was really little too, with my cousins, we had a bond because we had all been through the same crap, alcoholic family and all that stuff. So we would just look at each other and go and do that nod, like,
uh-huh.
Yes,
yeah.
our parents were really messed up. Yep. We lived through it. Yep. So that's how I feel with you.
That's so funny, Christine. My cousins were my friends just because in the cult we weren't allowed outside friends.
Right. So you had to have, yes.
And so we got to laugh at our parents too. Did you see what Auntie Betty did?
Yeah. Did you see?
Anyways.
Oh, Paige, I could talk to you forever and ever and ever. I want to invite you back to Out of the Box with Christine anytime.
Oh my gosh.
Anytime, you're welcome to come back. And because I know, well, I mean, I got a beautiful child. It's like having gorgeous, beautiful meal and staying at a 5-star hotel and and going in the beautiful, warm, tropical waters
Oh,
without
and
even having to leave, without even having to pack a bag. I got to have that with
oh,
you.
that's so beautiful.
So thank you. And on behalf of our listeners and our viewers on YouTube, thank you so much.
Oh,
Really.
well, this is really cool. And I truly want to thank you, Christine. I there's it's there's something about you too. You've just got such, I said at the beginning of the show, there's just something about you that you want to lean in and listen to you. Like, so I'm just like, oh yeah. And
it's that beautiful melodic voice.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
I'd have people meet me after years and years of listening to me at the radio station, and they would go, oh, that voice. I knew it. I would know it anywhere. And
cool.
You don't realize, especially when you're just doing radio, right? There's no video. In those days, I didn't do any video, but people would just recognize me from my voice.
Cool.
And there's a great power, just as there's power in the words that we use, there's power in our voice and how we use it. And I want to use mine for good. So
yes,
thank you again for recognizing that beautiful connection that we have. And I know we probably we were like burned at the stake together in some past life or something like that. And we looked at each other and we went, I'll see you a little bit after this whole pandemic. And we won't have to burn at the stake for speaking the truth.
Right.
We can do it freely now. Yay!
Well, listen, my life is richer because of you, and I want to thank you for that, for bringing the sunshine to my world. So thank you so much. I'm in gratitude.
I will do anything. Let's do some work together. Let's kick this up a notch. I would love to work with you in any way possible. So
oh my gosh,
let's leave that open. Let's ask the beautiful angel guides to just help us bring that forth, because I think it would be wonderful. Thank you so much. Paige Stevensen is a master intuitive. You can find out more information about her and her classes and all the good stuff at theintuitiveadvisor.com. Theintuitiveadvisor.com. If you don't want to have to worry about spelling that out, you can click the link in the show notes. That'll take you right there. And check out Paige's page. check out her website. You're going to be amazed at this woman, and definitely get in touch with her if you can. I want to thank you, wonderful listeners on all the major podcast platforms. I also want to thank you, viewers on YouTube, because you got an extra treat. You got to actually see us and see my beautiful guest up close and personal, Paige Stevensen. And if you resonated with any of this, and I know you have, because you wouldn't have stayed through this whole long conversation if you weren't really intrigued and you weren't really connecting with it. So if you feel something, share it. Make sure you share it with other people, because you never know, someone who really needs to hear it or to watch this video, they would really appreciate it. You could help change their lives a little bit. So thank you so much. If you want more information about the podcast show, go to outoftheboxwithchristine.com. And if you want more information about my coaching services and all the stuff that I'm doing live workshops. I got boot camps. I got so many things going on, helping entrepreneurs.
Yay!
I love teaching people. I love doing classes and workshops. So all that information you could find at christineblosdale.com, and all those links to Paige's site and my site and all of that will be in the show notes. So just make sure to check it out. And as I always say, remember to think outside of that damn box. Bye for now.